This is my one shameless plug for JMH, is that these are all services that we conduct for clients, and I'm going to move on to take questions now, but just if you're in a place where you just don't know how to get started with this, we do website audits, we do search optimization, email marketing, pay-per-click, all of these sorts of things if we can be of help to you down the road. So it's 2 o'clock now, and it's time to begin to wrap up, and some of you may have to move on, but I will allow just a few minutes for some questions if you guys have any that you'd like to ask. Is that all right with you, Stacy? I think she's muted.
I'm muted.
I hear you, Stacy. There you are.
Yes, please ask away.
Okay. Anything that you wanted to say while we're waiting for any questions to be submitted?
I just wanted to take a moment to remind everybody to save the date on their calendars for the 2010 marketing seminar. That will be February 10 to the 13th in Tampa, Florida. And the call for proposals has been posted. It's at the UCEA website right now. And presentations for proposals, I'm sorry, other way around. Proposals for presentations are due, on September 1st. I know that's coming up really quickly, but please do consider sending in a proposal, whether you want to partner with a vendor or a colleague or a peer institution. The committee looks to the membership of UCEA to make each year as best as it can be. So we're looking for lots of proposals. And the rumors are pretty exciting about what they're cooking up. I think Google is going to be there for a pre-conference. That's 3 hours with Google, and that's pretty exciting if you're in our field. So they've got some more stuff on the docket, I think, this year. So that's all I wanted to say. Thanks, everybody, for attending.
Yeah, the Google presenter from last year was really fantastic. I got to talk to him for just a bit and really enjoyed that. I do have one question here. It could have been from a while back, but someone asked, does Google Analytics allow you to see the ranking of your competitors? And the answer to that is no, it does not. It allows you to see aggregate information only. So you can tell that on average in the continuing education industry there's a 45% bounce rate, or they get this many visitors per day, but you can't see any specific data. Google protects that.
There are some other questions there, John. Can you see them, or do you want me to read them?
Oh, I see it. There we go. Is there a good CPM for banner advertising? Well, from what I know recently, the average click-through rate for banner advertising is still somewhere around 0.5%. So a lot of, whenever you're talking about cost per thousand or costs associated with something, I always think about what's the price point of what you're selling. So if you're selling a $6,000 certificate program, obviously then I'd be willing to spend much more per 1,000 impressions than I would if I'm trying to drive people to a $200 or $300 course. So in those situations, you just kind of base it around what your conversion rate is. So if you know that you have a conversion rate of 2% on your website, I would base it around knowing what my conversion rate on my website is and knowing what the click-through rate is on those banner ads, and then you can actually figure out how much you can afford to pay for that kind of advertising. Will this presentation be available for download? The answer to that is yes. You said don't ask for registration information. That's, I'm afraid that's a bit out of context. It might have been referring to when I was talking about the checkout process and saying ask for as little information as you absolutely have to. And if that's what the question related to, when you're registering someone, you may need to get their address. In fact, if you're a state institution, some are required by law to get someone's physical address and things like that. I know, but for instance, with an info session, you don't need someone's physical mailing address if you're not going to physically mail them anything, if they just want to come to an info session. So just ask them, say, for their name, phone number, and email address. You can send them email reminders for the info session and continue to communicate with them via phone and email without putting that extra burden of having them fill out their full address. What's the best way to approach those who stay in the funnel a long time, maybe if they look at a website every day for 6 months but never convert? Well, the difficult thing with that is that you can't actually get those, you don't know who those people are. You know that there are people who are going to look at your website and come back frequently, but unfortunately, short of putting up more calls to action or trying to entice them to in some way engage with your organization via phone or email, you can't move them further in the process. It's up to them. Let's see. I've got some other questions here. I'm going to just keep going for a couple more. What is an average click-through rate? That's a great question. I've gotten that so many times. Obviously, the answer is always, it depends. I'll tell you what we consider a good click-through rate. When we're working with clients on pay-per-click campaigns, if we can get a click-through rate of 3%, we're very happy with that. I think I've seen at one point in the past global average being somewhere around 1.25 to 1.5%. It obviously depends on whether you're marketing in your own geographic area, more broadly than that, what you're marketing, how much competition you have in the area for pay-per-click ads. But for pay-per-click, average click-through rate the click-through rate that we shoot for is, if we can get 3%, we're very happy. 2% is usually considered good. And I think that's all we have time for. I think I answered pretty much every question, Stacy. Do you want to, I'll let you come back on now, and if you want to just close us out.
We
we'll
did have one other quick question. I don't know if anybody wants to stick around for it, but it was it's about midway up, and it's about if you're starting to optimize a site for the first time and you're not sure what keywords will attract visitors.
Oh, yes.
How do you know the site is optimized to its fullest potential, and how do you test before you launch? Do you have time to answer that?
Oh, sure, I'm happy to. I will say what we use is we use 4 different approaches to do keyword research and to identify keywords. Obviously, we do brainstorming. We use tools like dictionaries and thesauruses. I mean, nothing fancy there to get words. But really, if you're trying to figure out what words are going to be the most effective, what you've got are some keyword reporting tools. There's several out there. One of the paid ones that's pretty good is called oh gosh, I've completely blanked on it now. I was thinking WordPress, but it's not WordPress. That's a blog software. Anyway, both Google and Yahoo have a keyword popularity tool that you can use. Even if you're not doing pay-per-click marketing, you go and do a search on Google for Google keyword tool, and you can find it. And by using this tool, you can put in any set of keywords you want to, and Google will tell you an average or approximate number of searches that have been done on that keyword per month. And so you can use that, for instance, if you put in terms like computer training. Let's say you do computer training. You can do computer training, computer classes, computer courses, computer education, and you can see the relative popularity of each of those 4 phrases to see which ones are going to be the best to optimize around. So we use a lot of techniques like that to be sure that if you're going to put all of this effort into doing organic optimization on your website, you want to make sure that you're doing it for the terms that are the most popular, that you have the best chance of getting the most traffic from. So I would say look for, you can even find some good articles on keyword research and keyword popularity, and those are things that I would look for. Great. So again, thank you guys so much for attending. I see we're 10 minutes past, and we've still got 58 people in attendance. So I appreciate your patience. Hope that this was helpful for you. Again, we will post this webinar. We are recording it, and assuming everything goes well with the recording, we'll make this available on our website. We usually break it into 10-minute chunks because that's what YouTube allows, and we actually post these out onto YouTube, I think is what we're planning to do with it. So once that happens, we'll email everyone and let them know that it's available. So if you have other things you want to go back and look at again, it'll be available for that. But thank you so much. Stacy, if you want to say anything else, but I think...
No, I'm good. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.